welcome to Storytime. I hope you're having a good week. It's Friday. Gotta love Fridays because Storytime happens on Fridays. I'm Miss Patty. We're here at the Lincoln Public Library. And welcome everyone. Storytime has just begun. Welcome one, welcome all. Come on in, we'll have a ball. So today's Storytime, can you take a guess at what we're going to be talking about? I'm all dressed up as do you know what I am? A construction worker. Our story and our rhymes and our pictures are all about construction. And we've got a really good book to read too. I wore my tool belt just because that's what construction workers do. They have little tools and then they have big tools at the construction sites. Big machines that they use to do construction. So let's sing hello. We clap and sing hello. We clap and sing hello. We're all here for story time. We clap and sing hello. We wave and say hello. We wave and say hello. We're all here for story time. We wave and say hello. We nod and say hello. We nod and say hello. We're all here for story time. We nod and say hello. Well, hey, hi, hidey ho. There are many ways to say hello. Hi, hello, and how do you do? Here's the way I like to do. Hello, and how are you today? I hope you're all doing well. And the library is open now for browsing, so you can come in and see us if you'd like. It's a little bit different these days because we have to do something by video like Storytime, but our books are still here, so come in and browse with them if you'd like. Okay, so we're going to get going with our story time here. This is our construction site. It's the area that the workers work on, and they often dig things up and build new buildings and do all kinds of great work. These types of workers work really hard. Here are some things that they use. Start off with the little tools. Some of them I have on my belt. Some of them we buy in the hardware store. Screwdrivers, paintbrushes, wrenches, nails, screws, and saws. We have to get things done. And in addition to that stuff, there are, like I said, some big machines and tools that they use. I'm going to talk about 5 big machines at the construction site. So, here's one of our workers. He's the big guy. Makes the rules. There are 5 big machines at the construction site. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's see what they do. They worked and worked with all their might. Foreman, that's this guy right here. The foreman called the dump truck away. And there were 4 big machines left on that day. And 4 big machines at the construction site worked and worked with all their might. And the foreman called the bulldozer away. Then, there were 3 big machines at the construction site. They worked and worked with all their might. The foreman called the steamroller away, rolling off the site. Then there were 2 big machines left on that day. 2 big machines at the construction site worked and worked with all their might. The foreman called the excavator away. That's what this is called. That's a big word, excavator. It's a big machine. Then there was 1 big machine left on that day. 1 big machine at the construction site worked and worked with all its might. The foreman called the cement mixer away. And there were no more machines on the construction site, so they called it a day. After all that work, they needed to rest. Now, let's talk a little bit about those big machines. Remember we said the cement mixer. The cement mixer is a concrete mixer, which is also called cement. And this mixes the cement, sand, gravel, and water, mixer to make cement. And a typical concrete mixer uses a rotating, revolving drum to mix all of the stuff together. This goes around and around and around. We get it all mixed up. And we've got the construction crane. And the crane is a type of machine used for lifting, which is usually with a hoist. That's what they call it. And this is a winder, also called a wire rope drum, that can be used both to lift and lower things and to move them back and forth. So we've got the little hook here that hooks onto things, and another one here, and they lift things up and move them around, and this piece swings back and forth, up and down, and it moves things from one place to another. Then we've got the excavator. Remember we said that's a long word. And this big machine, it's also called a digger. It's a heavy construction piece of equipment, and it has a boom or a bendable arm, a bucket, and a cab on a rotating platform, which is known as the house. The house sits atop an undercarriage, or the structure with tracks or wheels. See the big tracks over here? They roll along to make it move. And then this is a big, like a shovel here at the end. And then this is the house. The place where the driver sits. Then we've got the dump truck. The dump truck is a truck used for transporting loose materials such as sand, gravel, or dirt for construction. And it can carry a lot because it's big. So those are the big machines used at the construction site that help us to get a lot of work done. So, next thing we're going to do is read a story, but first, I think you might need some movement, right? Let's move around a little bit. I'm going to take my construction tool belt off so that I can move a little bit better. And I'm going to show you some pictures, and we're going to do some movement. Let's see. We're going to spin like a cement mixer. Remember we said the cement mixer has a drum that goes around and around and around and around? So, let's do some spinning. Spin once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. How about we spin the other way? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spins. Are you dizzy yet? I am. What's next? Bulldozer. Remember we said the bulldozer pushes things? Let's push. We can push with our hands forward, back, forward, and back. 3 times, 4 times, 5 pushes. Let's push up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Push like a bulldozer. And remember we said the backhoe digs? Let's dig like a backhoe. We'll dig from bottom up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And over the other shoulder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How about up over your head? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Dig, dig, dig like a backhoe. Now, remember we said the dump truck tips. It tips back to empty out its load. So let's tip back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5. Good tipping. Tip like a dump truck. And this is the front loader, which we said it scoops. Can scoop up some dirt. So let's scoop once, twice, 3 times, 4, and 5. How about cross your arms the other way? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good job, everybody. Doing a lot of scooping. And this is a forklift. I don't think we talked about a forklift. What that does is it lifts things. We put things on the back of this little lever here and it lifts it off the ground. So let's lift. How about we lift right up on our toes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How about we go on 1? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, lift up the other leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good job lifting like a forklift. And we didn't talk about the jackhammer yet either. This machine is something that's held right in front of the workers and it vibrates and they drill into the ground. So let's stomp like a jackhammer because it makes a lot of noise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good job stomping. And here's the crane. We talked about the crane. That does a lot of stretching to get things up into the air. So let's stretch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How about straight up? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good job, my friends. And we're right back to the cement mixer. We did our spinning and our stretching and our stomping and all our loosening up. Everybody feel good? So let's take a seat. Are you ready for a story? So if you want to hear a story, clap your hands. If you want to hear a story, clap your hands. If you want to hear a story, if you want to hear a story, if you want to hear a story, clap your hands. If you want to hear a story, stamp your feet. If you want to hear a story, stamp your feet. If you want to hear a story, if you want to hear a story, if you want to hear a story, stamp your feet. If you want to hear a story, sit so still. If you want to hear a story, sit so still. If you want to hear a story, if you want to hear a story, sit so still. So now that everybody's sitting nice and still, let's read Goodnight Goodnight Construction Site. Oh, I think you'll like this one. It's written by Sherry Dusky Rinker and Tom Lichtenheld. And I'm reading it with permission from Chronicle Books. Ooh, looks like it's getting to be nighttime from this picture. Let's see. Goodnight Construction Site. Ooh, look at a cat sitting up there. Is it a cat or an owl? I think it's an owl. Looks like an owl to me. Goodnight Construction Site. Down in the big construction site, the tough trucks work with all their might to build a building, make a road, to get the job done, load by load. And look at all the big equipment here, just like what we talked about. A crane and a dump truck, cement mixer and a bulldozer. Ooh. The sun has set, the work is done. It's time for trucks to end their fun. So one by one they'll go to bed to yawn and rest their sleepy heads, then wake up to another day of rough and tough construction play. Working hard to help his team, crane truck raises one last beam. There he is. And reaching, stretching, lifting high, he swings the beam into the sky. He'll set it down right on its mark, then off to bed. It's almost dark. He slowly folds his boom and back, and then with one last sleepy grin, he tucks himself in nice and tight. Then cuddles up and says good night. Shh, good night, train truck. Good night. Spinning, churning all day long, cement mixer sings his whirly song. Now yawn. He's weary and so dizzy from the fun that keeps him busy. With one last spin, he pours the load. He's ready now to leave the road. He takes a bath, gets shiny bright, pulls up his chute, turns off his light. He cuts his engine, slows his drum, and dreams sweet dreams of twirly fun. Shh. Good night, cement mixer. Good night. Dump truck loves to work and haul. He carries loads both big and small. He moves the dirt from place to place and dumps it with a happy face. One final load spills on the heap. Crunch! Now dump truck's tired and wants to sleep. He lowers his bed, locks his gate, rests his wheels. It's getting late. He dims his lights, then shuts his doors, and soon his engine slows to snores. Shh. Good night, dump truck. Good night. Pushing with his mighty blade, bulldozer works so smooth the grade. He clears the way to level ground and fills the air with thunderous sound. Roar! He's big and tough. No one's as tough and as strong as he, but now he's sleepy as can be. He puffs some smoke out of his stack, turns off his engine, stops his track. He curls in his soft dirt bed and dreams of busy days ahead. Shh. Good night, bulldozer. Good night. Scooping gravel, dirt, and sand, excavator shapes the land. He digs and lifts throughout the day, but now it's time to end his play. A few more holes to dig in soon. He'll roll to bed beneath the moon. He twirls upon his bumpy track, pulls up his boom, stretches his back. He sets his scoop down on the ground and snugly snuggles up without a sound. Shh. Good night, excavator. Good night. These big trucks so tough and loud, they work so hard, so rough and proud. Tomorrow is another day, another chance to work and play. Turn off your engine, stop your tracks, relax your wheels, your stacks and backs. No more huffing, no more puffing, team. It's time to rest your heads and dream. Construction site, all tucked in tight. The day's done. Turn off the light. Good work today. Now shh. Good night. That's a day on the construction site. And all the big machines get tired. So, one last thing before we go is our letter of the week, and it is the letter V, because something I'm wearing begins with the letter V. Rest. And so do some other things. Van, vulture, vegetables, vase, vampire, vine, and violin all begin with the letter V. Now your job today is to open up your eyes and ears to see if you can see and hear anything else that begins with the letter V. If you do, let someone know, because V is our letter of the week. One more thing. In our lobby, you can find these activity pads, which are construction themed. And they have some fun little activities to do in them. So come on into the lobby and pick one up. Also, if you want to come into the library, we have a lot of construction books. So you can come in and help yourself to them. Children's room is open for browsing with some special rules in place. But if you come in, you can come get some books. So be sure to come see us. And until next week, bye-bye now.